Hi, last week I posted a video, what I learned from John Frusciante. If you haven't checked that video out, I suggest checking that out before we get into part 2. So in part 2 I'd like to expand a little bit on some of the things that I was talking about in the first video. So I was talking a lot about triads and inversions and chord tones. So I'm going to expand a bit on that and how John applies this concept to single notes. So if you're looking at Dani California, now the chords here are A minor, just your bar chords, so 5th fret of your low E string, A minor, G major, 3rd fret, major form, shape, D minor, 5th fret of your A string, and then back to A minor. Okay, so if you have those chords, I'm just going to loop those first, and we'll show you ways that he uses to expand on these chords. So if you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now that I have that, okay, so after the first chorus, what he'll do is he'll bend to chord tones. So this will make it sound a little bit bigger and just expand on that idea. And I find that's a thing that John uses a lot. It's always kind of like, here's the basic formation, sort of the roadmap or the canvas, and then he'll just keep sort of expanding on his ideas. And the way that he'll do that is he'll bend to chord tones. So here in Dani California, when it gets to this part, one guitar is bending so 11th fret of your B string, so that's a C, so that'd be the flat 3rd or the minor 3rd of A minor, and then you'll go a half step back, it's bending to a B, that would be the 3rd of the G, then 13th fret of the B string, bending to a D, that's the root, then up to the 15th, which is the E, which would be the 5th of the A minor. The second time, you'll swap out that 5th for 15th fret of your E string, just bending up that to the root. So if you put this together, so again that's 11th fret, 10th fret, 13th fret, 15th fret. Second time, 13, and then only high E. So with this part, I'll have to let it play once, then I'll kick her in. So here we go. So I'll have that, and then on top of that, he'll overdub 7th fret of the G string, up a little step to an E, should be the 5th of your A minor, then back whole step, you're getting the 5th of the G, so you're getting that sort of chord harmony or guitar harmony, if you will, through that. He's bending to the 3rds down here, he's bending to the 5ths here, so then he'll go to the 8th fret, bend that up whole step. F would be the minor 3rd of D, so he's bending to the 3rd, that would be coupled with the root up here. And then the 12th fret, which is just the root of A, right? So you're getting this so pretty cool thing that he'll do there. Again, it just beats kind of staying on the A minor and the G, you know, when you're looking for a place to go. It's just a creative idea of, okay, well here we can make a musical interlude, and instead of just bending to certain chord tones, you know, you double that and creates a really wide sound. So After that, the chord's cut out, so it's always, something is always kind of getting taken away or added to that main part. This time, I guess it's the third verse or something after this part anyway, he'll take away the chords and he'll just bend. So going the clean, just unison bends. All the unison bend is bending, basically if we're bending the 13th fret of our B string. So before we bent that up to our D, you would be putting your first finger on the D of your high E string. And you'd get that for the D. For the A would be on the B string, and you would be bending the 12th fret of your G string to match that tone. And I always recommend this if, you know, because bending in pitch, it takes some practice for everybody. So that's a good way to make sure that your bends are in pitch, is you just bend that up and you can really hear it. And then you would go back to your G. So now first finger's on the 8th fret, third finger is on the 10th fret. And then I'm coming down to that D. So there, instead of playing the chords, he's just bending to the roots. Then after that, there's another section where he'll bend to chord tones again. This time he'll bend to the 5th. Much like the other idea that we did, where he'll bend that up to the E on the 7th fret of your G string, but he'll apply the unison bend. So you're getting this 6th fret with the first finger, 8th fret, and then so you're just bending would be right 5th, 5th, minor 3rd of the D, 5th again. Second time around he'll do something kind of cool here. He'll go 5th, and then he'll go to the F sharp he'll bend up to, which is actually the natural 3rd of the D. I don't know why it works, but it sounds pretty awesome. Just a little switch there. And then up to the A here, so he's getting this. Really good to work on the pitch. I always kind of use this even just as a warm-up as I'm trying to get my bends in tune. Okay, so another time that John is bending to chord tones would be on the song Torture Me, when it hits the chorus here. So the chords sort of for this section would be, you'd have a B flat minor, you'd have a D flat major, you'd have a F sharp major, and then you would have an E flat minor. So what he's doing here is he's starting with the 8th fret right here. That would be the B flat. So he's playing the B flat, and then playing the 5th of that on the B string. And then the 3rd of that, and he hits that 3rd right when it moves to the D flat, and it's hitting the root of that. So it's just matching the chord perfectly as it changes. You know, you get that chord change. F sharp right there. There's the chord change. So he's having then 8, 6, hitting the F sharp here on the A string, then the 8th fret there again on the D string, and then he's bending right there, which, so he'll bend a whole step of the 8th fret on the G string, and then just release it, and he releases it right when the chord changes to that. So I'm kind of it's sort of implied with what Flea's playing as well, you know, as far as this harmony goes here. So again, you can kind of hear that maybe as like a oops, a minor. There he'll take the 6th fret, which is the exact same note, it's just a lower octave. Again, just creativity really, you know, instead of going here, just it's always changing. There's always something changing in the riff. So I'll try to loop that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if we have that, now that's the first chorus. In the second chorus, again, it's building. He's trying to make it bigger. So that part will be playing again, and then he'll overdub on top of it different chord tones. So this one would be sort of up in your 11th position, and then you'd be going to the 9th fret of your B string. So it sort of looks the same a little bit. And then the 10th fret of your G string. So if I'm seeing this from this point, and it helps so much if you just learn as many chords as you can, because it really helps to see all of these shapes, all of your intervals. For instance, if I'm here, I'm kind of looking at my B here, and I'm kind of seeing my root, my minor third, because it's a minor, root minor third there. So again, and my 5th there. If my root is there, it's the minor 7. So what he's doing is he's actually playing what would be the minor third, and then the minor 7. So again, that minor 7 sort of sound. And then when it goes here, there it is. There's your D flat major. He's hitting the 3rd of that chord. So again, just matching. He hit the root down here. Now he's hitting the 3rd up here, and it just creates this really awesome sound, just like playing chords, but with single notes. So you're getting a really cool harmony there. So it's sorry, 8th fret. That would be the 3rd of the F sharp there. So you get this. And then he's going to bend the 11th fret. Whole step, same sort of idea. And it's going to come down onto the minor 3rd of the E flat. So it's just matching chord tones. So really just kind of looking, an idea is just to take a look at your chords and then, you know, figure out where you play the chords, and where all those chord tones lie on your fretboard. So if we put those two parts together, again, this is the second chorus. This just builds it up to even bigger. So the first one has this. I'll try to match it. 2, 3, 4. Instead of bending here, he'll take the lower octave there. So really fun. If you have a loop pedal, I suggest trying to map those out. But at least, at the very least, I always find it's, you know, you could just learn how to play this stuff, but if you're to dig a little bit deeper and to look at the chord tones and how to play all your chord shapes, you will get so much more out of it. And then you can take those ideas, and when you have a chord progression, you could apply some of these similar concepts. Okay, so next up is Strip My Mind. Let's first just look at the chords, all in open positions, just A minor, E minor, F major 7, C, D minor, A minor, C, and G. Now John, and I find he likes to do this a little bit too, is he'll mute out the A string with the underside of his ring finger, or if he might be using his middle finger, so that there's no, let me see, there will just be like a root, there's the D, the third would be here, so and he'll just strum down to the B string, so instead of that you get, doesn't really matter, but you know, something that he does in this song. Let me just loop that first. 2, 3, 4. A minor, E minor, F major 7, C, D minor, A minor, C, and G. Okay, so now we have those as chords. After the chorus, again, there's a little musical interlude there. So this is kind of a cool part, and he is matching chord tones here as well, although it's a little harder to see. But we'll be up in the 15th position, so 15th fret of your B string, and you'll hammer on to the 17th fret, and then the 15th fret of the high E string. So you get this. So he hits that 17th fret again. So this would be over the A, so if I play like open A, and then there, that's an E. He lands right on the root as that chord changes, so you're getting that. Then he's on the 15th fret of the high E string. Bends and release. Then the 12th fret, which would be the major 7 of F, when that chord changes, so then 13, hammer on 15 of the B string, that's when it hits the C, that note is a C, so you're seeing that all these licks sort of lead to the chord tones. F, C, and then you'll play the 15th fret again. Slide back to the 12th fret with the first finger. So you're getting this. Then here's when it goes to the D, and that'll be the 14th fret there. So we're playing the 9 of that. Anyway, so it'd be. Then you'll slide from the 12th fret to the 14th, and then the 12th fret of the G string. So you get this. And then here it's on the A minor, and he'll bend up a whole step. Maybe so 12, 14, and then 12, right in an E, in A minor here. Third, there it goes to the G. It's the third of that chord, so it's matching a lot of these chord tones here. Okay, so just to go over that phrase again, it's in 15th fret, bend and release, 12, 13, 15 of the B string, 15, slide back to 14. To tempo here. If it's too fast, just set a metronome, practice that bit for a while. The tempo is 65 in this song, so just start a little bit slower than that and work your way up to it. Okay, so, or just put the video on half speed. Sometimes I do that when I'm trying to steal some licks. So here we go. Of course, he adds another harmony on top of that one. So here, now he'll be on the 12th and 13th frets of the B string. It's a half step, so on an A, that would just be going up to the minor third from the 9. And hitting the high E on the high E string. Then on the E, fifth of that chord, so you can just 15th fret, and the phrasing's all the same. So that's when it goes to the F. It's just hitting the fifth of that, so you get that. So you get this. 12 to 14 hammer. Then here it's just 14 slide back to 12. Then you hit the A on here, so you got this. Sliding up again from the 10. What's that last one? Yeah, so it's 10, 12, 10 of your D, and then 12 of your G. You're bending that up a whole step. I'll try to play it slowly a couple times. You have this. Taking different chord tones from the same chords creates a harmony. See this? Let me try to match that with the other one I have here. So. So really cool. Again, if you have a loop pedal, try to set that up for yourself. Try to identify each of these tones in the chords. I find that really helps just for your own musical theory knowledge. Okay, so that's the end of part 2. I'll be releasing another video on the same concepts of bending to chord tones, and I'll focus on the Mars side of the record. I find it's easiest just to kind of make the videos shorter so that you're getting the most out of them, and then when you get another video in a week, these concepts are starting to sink in and you're starting to make sense of them. So in the meantime, have fun with it, rock and roll. Thank you very much for watching.